Hello, everyone, and welcome back to J Journeys. My name is Natalie, if this is the first time you're tuning in here. And today I have a very special guest, the beautiful Eva from Costa Rica, and tuning in from Costa Rica too today. So that feels very special, and I'm very happy and grateful that you could take the time to have this conversation. Eva
Thank you.
works as a photographer, and also you model and
That's true.
produce, and you're an artist within the creative fields. And yeah, just knowing a little of the backstory, you've been on this path from a young age. So I'm very curious to hear more about it today, and how you come what you're doing today and where you're living today, and insights and thoughts about the creative process and living in the jungle and all these things. So, welcome to this chat, Eva. And
Thank you so much
yeah,
for having me.
please, please introduce yourself a bit further.
Well, yeah, you did a good introduction already. My name's Eva. I'm from Costa Rica. I've been taking photos or being a professional photographer for the last, I think already like 14 years. I've
Wow.
been doing it professionally, but I've been like stepping into this beautiful path of having a camera and witnessing the world through a lens since I was very young. Yeah, I got my first camera when I was 10 with a book of like things you could do, and then since then I started taking photos. But even before that, when I was 7, I started watching a lot of movies, and that kind of like was my first introduction to cinema, photography, and I just knew that this was going to be part of my life for the rest of my life.
Wow. And you studied in like university photography or something similar, or how did you like progress?
Yes. So when I was young, I think all started like when I was 8. I remember one specific moment that I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And it was like, I was new in second grade, and I was a bit late. Like all the kids already knew each other, and I was like the newest student that came like a week later. And I remember that we were in the classroom and all the kids were playing, and I didn't know anybody, but I thought the moment was super precious and interesting. So I grabbed a piece of paper and I started like recording it, like kind of like without a camera,
Wow.
because I was like, oh, I don't want to forget this moment. And then I was like, where should I place it? Yeah, place it here. And I realized that I was just always very like absorbing everything around me a lot. Like if a moment felt like out of like very different or interesting, I was like, ooh, I want to grab this. And I think that was like the first, like I didn't know what that meant back then, but then when I got my first camera, I was like, oh, this is how you really like absorb, like
Yeah.
kind of keep this moment forever. And then that's how my journey started. So that since I was 12, I was telling my parents and family like, oh, I want to be a photographer or a filmmaker. But of course, being like a woman in Costa Rica and Central America, my family was super supportive about it. But I think the rest of the people were like, "Ooh, I wouldn't do that. It's
Yeah.
very difficult. There is not much support. There is not much industry." Which all of that, it's true.
Mm.
So um, so then I kind of let some of those voices get into me. You're 16, trying to find what you want to do the rest of your life. And if a lot of people tell you like, oh, that's just like very complicated. I mean, it's like, yeah, I was a little bit like, oh, what should I do? And at the end, I started advertisement first. I was a
Ah,
copywriter.
okay.
That was my first career because I thought, okay, I can do something that is more of like a more like solid career, like a
Yeah.
more
More
stable,
official.
official. And then I can do like in advertisement, maybe like some photos or some audio, like visuals for it. And then I did that for 4 years. I work in an agency, and in some point I still had this craving, like, wait a minute, like I don't know if my path is to be 8 hours in an office,
Yeah.
looking at a computer. Like, this is not exactly what I came here to do. So while I was doing that, I got a scholarship for photography. So I was like, okay, I
Ah.
already please the people told me to do. Now I want to
Yeah.
please myself. If I could go back, I mean, it was an amazing tool, like knowing about marketing and all that.
Mm.
But if I could go back, I think I'll just do what I wanted to do from my heart since the beginning.
Yeah.
But then I started photography in Costa Rica, like did my studies here. So second career, and then I was like, okay, people told me that the market here is very little, so I have two options, or I change my path or I change my country. And in that moment, I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna open my wings and go somewhere else where people appreciate art in a different way, and there is more industry, and I can learn from it way more. So that's where I started like questioning myself where I wanted to go, and that's how I ended up. I mean, already I was working as a photographer when I finished, but I knew I wanted to like get more specialized and learn more and like really dive into a culture that this was like so much more stable. So then I did a master's degree in fashion photography and art direction in Barcelona. And for me it was like that was a way of like learning more, because I love learning. Like I don't think you need to study to be a artist, and I actually think you can learn. All the tools are out there, but I do like studying and being around creatives. And for me it was also a way of being able to live in Europe, because suddenly I got a pass to live there as a student, and I was not only a tourist, I could really tap in the culture and travel around, and that had a lot of impact in my work and how I see the world too, because I learned a lot from amazing photographers there and working with people. So that was great.
Wow, I didn't know that you'd studied fashion photography, but now when I think about the images that I've seen by you, I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But so fun that you lived in Barcelona as well. It's a fun city.
Yeah, it was very inspiring. I was between Barcelona and Berlin, I remember. And a lot of my friends were like, I love both cities, by the way. I mean, I love so many different places, but my friends were like, oh, coming from the jungle. And I was living at the beach at that time. You're like, oh, maybe it's the easier transition with the weather, the language. And I thought, maybe this is true. Like winters, I haven't experienced a winter. I mean, you know better than me.
Yes.
I'm still very bad with winters. So overall, I think it was a good decision. And Barcelona, it was very inspiring. There is so many incredible photographers there. There's so many people. So suddenly I was like in this place where there were so many talented people, models from all around the world. And, it's like their aesthetic is very on point. There's a lot of fashion brands and things, and also was like a window to the world of how things work, and like big teams, and it was beautiful. And then after that I lived in Paris also for a little bit, and Lisbon. So I've been around.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
Barcelona.
I guess,
No, sorry, go ahead.
I guess when you also speak Spanish, it's a good starting point when you come to Europe to go to Spain.
It is true. I also was very curious about the Catalan culture and the language, because that's their main language. So I was also like, for me, it was a beautiful influence, right? Like to learn also like the story in the place, and to get to know their culture deeper. But yeah, of course, having Spanish was like a super nice tool, super helpful, because the university was in Spanish. I could express myself better than in English. And yeah, everybody speaks Spanish. But I wish I learned Catalan better. It's a beautiful language too.
It's not too late.
No, and the culture is amazing. They have so many incredible artists, like, from architects, painters, like Miro, like Gaudí. So just breeding that, like, in that place, where so many artists were there, it was just very inspiring. I mean, Costa Rica is such a new country, and the culture is so being in places where so many, like, you guys been doing art for so long, it's very inspiring. Just by being there, I was like super inspired by every like corner, architecture. So yeah, it was very important in my path.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, like, because I can resonate with that, because I'm back now in Sweden after been living in many different places all over the world. This like you go and out and explore and you learn a lot and you learn about yourself and you maybe study stuff abroad, and but then there's something that happens and it's like you feel almost cool to go back home for a while. And I guess you've had a similar transition, even though you're based between Europe and Costa Rica now. Can't you share a bit about that, and also how the Costa Rican nature has formed you also as an artist, and the work you do today, working more from the jungle, and a lot of your photography these days, I guess, is like outside and more connected maybe to the ocean and the elements and that. So how has that transition been from the European city life back to a bit more your roots and also nature?
It's been great. I think I still hold like a lot of Europe, and I go back and forth because there I can work with like, you know, really like fashion brands and people from all around the world. I mean, here too, but you know, it's there people can wear clothes. Here we wear bikinis, and you know, it's just different. So I still like go back for creativity and for projects, but my journey back home, it's been very interesting because since I was a kid, I went a lot to the national parks. My dad is an environmental lawyer, so I grew
Oh
up like
wow.
this love for nature. It's like part of me. Like, and my mom, she always rescue animals, and we had so many like animals at home, like fostering them. And I didn't realize how important this was until I came back, and it was during COVID. I mean, before pre-COVID, when the first cases were happening in Europe, and we didn't know what was going to happen after. I came to visit my family. It was during the winter, so it was a good time to leave. And I came with like a, you know, like just for 3 weeks, and then I was going to go back to my life in Barcelona. And then suddenly the cases went up super fast, and then they closed the borders, and I was here like, wait a minute, I don't have a life here, but I guess I have to stay here. And a friend, she was living in the south of the country, which is one of
like
the most
Matapalo or something.
yeah, well, more like closer more to Vita and San
Nice.
Antonio, but the Osa Peninsula in Costa Rica is one of the most diverse places in the entire world. It's my favorite place in the world. And then suddenly I went from city life to like being locked in a beautiful cocoon with a friend that I appreciate so much, in complete like silence, because the world was kind of like pause, and having all the sounds of the jungle, and like, because this place is really alive, like way more
There's
than
like
sound.
jaguars down there.
Yeah, so many animals that I didn't even know they existed. Sometimes we were going in the night, I was like, what are those like eyes, and like in the dark, and you know, so many animals and beautiful beings living there. It's like, yeah, like the Osa Peninsula, like Costa Rica is about like 5% of the biodiversity of the world, and it's a tiny, tiny country. Um, and then that place is already like around 3%. So imagine, it's like in Costa Rica is tiny, and just this place has like more than half. So it's like it's so alive. So while I
It's
was
on
there,
my bucket list to go down
yeah,
south. I haven't made it down south yet, but I would love to go.
magical, but yeah, reserved to people that really like nature and can, you know, like respect it that deep, because that place is, it's so important. And when I was there, I remember one night I went out to the balcony, and I heard all the sounds of the animals at night, like the crickets, and I realized that I had tears in my eyes, and I was like, wow, I just missed so much this orchestra of, you know, like tropical nature. And I really felt in my heart like, whoa, I've been like for the last years not listening to this, and this calms my soul and heart so much. Like, this is how I grew up listening to. And I was like, oh, I just felt
The whole
everything,
nervous
like,
system's like,
exactly, like I feel like melting, and just feeling so protected and so like hugged by these textures, sounds, animals, jungle, like. And then after that, I was like, okay, I feel so good being back. And then they reopened the borders, and I didn't want to go back. I wanted to stay longer, and then I started doing like 5 months here, 7 months there, and until I got my nationality, my passport there, which was an important mission for me to obtain and open myself to the world. And then after that, I just switch my, like, I was like, okay, now I want to spend more time in the jungle because I just feel so free here. Like there is something about being barefoot and eating like just fresh fruits,
Fruits,
and
yeah.
just it's just times go slower here, and it's, I don't know, like it's more about every day feels like a almost like a celebration of being alive. Every time I come back after a
Yes.
beautiful sunset, I'm like, that was gorgeous.
Yeah, it's like every day in the jungle, I go to bed feeling so full. Like,
Hmm.
it's like you've seen this beautiful sunset, you've eaten, like, every moment of the day is so beautiful in some way. It's so like you live a bit slower, and it's another rhythm, but it's like as soon as you get into it, it's like addicting because you feel the soul is so happy.
Exactly. So it's hard to leave that fully
Mm.
when you had a taste of that life.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful because it's somehow like all these material things don't make so much sense here.
No.
You just, it's like in the cities, I'm always like around in the city, like when I was living in Paris, which is a beautiful city, of course, but so many shops. And I was there
Yeah.
like a month ago and I was like, oh, maybe I need those shoes. Maybe I need that. Maybe,
Yes.
because there's so many beautiful things you can buy and you see everybody around you having like all this style. And here,
Mm.
which is also nice. I like to experience that, but it's so beautiful to
Yeah.
be in a place where none of that really matters.
No.
And you feel so content and so full with just, like it's like
It's
some
priceless.
it's like a bikini and like some sandals. And for me that's such a beautiful thing to experience, like that. You don't need much to be happy. You just need to be alive and to enjoy this magical planet.
Yeah, no, I resonate a lot with that. And also, like, once you've been more in that, you can be in the city, but it's like you also have a distance to some of it. Even though I'm like you, like, sometimes I just want to go and get some new stuff and
Hmm.
feel it. And, like, it can also be creative and a lot of expression with that. But it's so nice to just strip yourself off all of that stuff and just, like, not have even so many things when you live in the jungle because you don't need it. It's like, you feel so light.
Exactly. It's beautiful. And the weather, of course, allows that to
Mm.
happen because
Yeah.
we don't really have seasons, so we just need things for the rain and things for when it's hot. And yeah, it's a different pace. I feel it every time I come back like to the
Mm.
airport. It's like, you know. So
Yeah.
that's why it's
I
hard for
love
me.
that feeling of landing in San Jose because it's like instantly, it's like my whole body just relaxes. And that's just still being in a city, but I'm still like, it's so calming.
I look around, I see the mountains, and I feel like a hawk. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm back. So yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And I guess now you are very active as a photographer and a producer, and you do some really cool shoots. Like, I really love your style and your aesthetic. And I'm curious to hear a bit about like behind the scenes, like how you come to be or like how you come to what you publish and what shoots you decide to do, or how you get inspiration, and how it feels like you create with a lot of heart and a lot of purpose. But I'm curious to hear like the background to what we see.
Mm, um, yeah, I just love working with people and getting to know people. And I think most of the times, photographers are some of the most curious people you will find out there because we're always like looking at people, where they're from, where is these are, and we have a lot of curiosity. So for me, I think there is like two important ingredients of that. Like, I think my curiosity made me a photographer in a way because I had the curiosity of the world, of meeting people, meeting women. I work with a lot of women, especially,
Yeah.
and that's been such a beautiful path. And my curiosity of the environment because
Mm.
suddenly I have this like equipment and a camera, and then I go to a new place and I can really like capture the locals and talk to them, and it just like allows my curiosity to go farther because I have
Yeah.
like a purpose to do. And so I think for me, I just love creating. It's something very organic for me. And I love when people come, like, because of course, each place comes with different people and work flow. So
Mm-hmm.
in the jungle, there is a lot of women that come here with like big dreams. Oh, I want to start launch like a new bikini brand, and it's so beautiful to be part of this, collaborate with these like small businesses and women that are like, now I want to be an entrepreneur, and create my own like business and be, and like have a voice, and so it's so beautiful to like listen to what they want to do and capture it and put your essence into it. So I love working with projects like this, that they seem like
Yeah.
sustainable, soulful, and
Mm.
just women that are like took the path of, yes, I can do this, and it's very
Yeah.
inspiring.
Very
But I love,
empowering.
exactly, and most of my clients ended up becoming my friends, and the models
Mm.
too. So it's also like a way for me to like create community and connect, because I can also be a little bit introvert at times. Like I
Yeah.
love like retouching and listening to my music and like disconnecting from the world. Like I love also being alone. So I think
Yeah.
that's kind of the polarity, right? Like I'm like
Yeah.
in my house, like working and taking decisions of what colors I'm gonna put, how I'm gonna retouch this, and then the other like duality of it is like I go out there and I have to talk to strangers and make them feel good, and for me that's also like a beautiful thing of being a photographer. Like how can I connect to people that probably I wouldn't met if I was not in this
Yeah.
profession. So
Yeah.
that's something that also pulls me a lot, and going to different places, I also like it a lot, because it comes with meeting different like landscapes, artists. So yeah, that's a little bit about the process. And
Yeah.
before I shoot, for me it's also like a very interesting moment where I tend to like be alone, meditate a little bit, and go from silence to then like, whoo, like let's do this, let's be this director and full of energy to make everybody feel like confident and full of energy. So I go from always these dualities of like having a moment on my own to like, let's do this production, you have to hold the space, you have to direct, you have to make
Yeah.
everybody feels comfortable. And then I come home and I do the same, like I
Yeah.
stay
Cocoon a
inside
bit.
good, and then I'm like, so it's a beautiful work and
The yin
polarity.
and
And
the yang, I guess.
exactly, and I love both because it matched that part of my personality, the intro and the
Mm.
extrovert part of me. So I think that's a little bit of the process,
Yeah.
but yes.
That's so beautiful, and I love that because that's, I think, as well what I've gravitated with your photography, that there is a lot of very empowering images and very like you're capturing women very like in a very natural way. Sometimes when people are like, okay, let's empower women, and it's like very but you really capture women in a very empowering but natural way. I feel like some really striking images of like
Mm.
really people's where you really capture their true like expression, I guess. So it feels
Mm.
like that. You can tell that there's a lot of thought and intention behind what you do, and that you make people feel very comfortable in front of the camera.
Thank you. I think that's very important, and for me that's like a very beautiful part of photography, that how do you interact with the person you have. And you have like so many different kind of people, the ones that have very experienced models and they exactly know the angles and what to do, and then you just kind of let them do their magic and just direct a little bit, and other people that they are like just petrified when they see a camera, and like they're
Yeah.
like, I don't know what to do, and you end up also being this, almost like it becomes like a therapy, like how to like
Yeah.
help to navigate all these insecurities that women we have. We are being bombarded by so many things of how to be, like not to
Mm.
age, not to these, not to, and then you're there like holding this space, being also vulnerable to like,
Yeah.
because you're also a woman, you also have your insecurities, you also
Yeah.
have your fears, and just being there like, I understand, but this is how I see you. And it's so empowering to like show, and beautiful to show like the person behind the lens, like how you see them, because
Mm.
everybody's so beautiful, and when I'm taking photos I'm really seeing you. I'm like, oh, your eyes, oh, your hair, and you're like so immersed in the person you have in front, that I see so much beauty in everybody. And I'm like, I just
Mm.
really want to like like to just show you how I see you, because I see all the details, you're like just in full present.
Yeah.
So that's very beautiful and empowering. And what you said before that I forgot to reply about the change of taking photos in the city and here, I love the natural light. I love how
Mm.
unpredictable it is, how we cannot control it. And there is an element of that that is beautiful. Like I work in studios for a while, and it's also amazing. You can control everything. It doesn't matter if it rains or
Yeah.
whatever happens outside. You're like, you have the control of this box and you can change things, which is also amazing. I can enjoy it. But I like how spontaneous these landscapes are because you're not in control, right? And it's like you have to be humble to whatever it comes and you have
Yeah.
to adjust to it. And I love that about natural light, that you have to read what is happening. Oh, there is a cloud, we can wait. Or no, actually, let's move to this location. And then you just, like you just capture and understand the lighting that is there and work the
Mm.
best you can with the elements. So I love that about this space to shoot, that it's just like you cannot control it all, and that's the beauty of it, because that's a
Yeah.
lesson that I
More
applied to my
spontaneous
life.
and alive, I guess. You have to be like on
Exactly.
your toes.
And you have to always be like measuring, okay, like for example, July is a very unpredictable month here. Now it's full sun. 2 days ago it was raining in the mornings, and then
Yeah.
you have to kind of read in between lines and be like, okay, this is also a death. And yesterday I had a shoot. I didn't know how the weather was going to be, and it was full summer day. So it's
Mm.
like also like just taking a
Embrace
bit
it.
of, exactly. And if it was cloudy, I will still do it and enjoy the beauty of the light when it's like soft and clouds and
Mm.
everything. So it's like it makes you like just be more adaptable and see the beauty of a natural environment, which it's amazing. It's like an amazing backdrop. So yeah, that was very beautiful for me. And just going back to, I don't know, like being barefoot, like every day I have a shoot is mostly in the beach or in nature. And it's so nice because I tell you, like I used to work like in an office,
Yeah.
in front of a computer for 8 hours. And now like my days are working in front of beautiful people, connecting to new people in like sunrise, sunset setups. And it's just a beautiful
Yeah.
change of a scenario personally. It's at
It's a
least what I,
very beautiful work environment. And I also
exactly.
feel like when I'm in Costa Rica, I get so inspired by the beauty of nature. It's like I want to take pictures because, as you were mentioning before, like capturing the moments and almost collecting small memories. Like, even though sometimes it's hard to do it justice, like on a phone camera, but it's so beautiful and there's
Mm,
so many mesmerizing moments. It can be like the light in at 06 a.m. in the morning, just
mm.
rising up over like the mountain, and you're on the beach, and it's just like wow, you get so like almost humbled by the nature because it's like just these all these shows.
Exactly. No, I feel very, very inspired when I'm here. There's other places that I have to a little bit like really like find it in a different way. And here it's always finding me, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. In other
Yeah.
places, I notice that I'm like, oh, I don't feel so inspired, but I need to like, like step, like kind of not force
Mm.
it, but like it doesn't come as natural. Here, everything inspires me. Like every sunset is different. Like the kids
Yeah.
playing at the beach, the monkeys, like it's just, yeah, I feel so full that it's just so natural to pick up my
To be
camera and just
creating.
be like, oh, I feel so good. Let's work today, or let's do magic today. So in that
Yeah.
sense, this place is very inspiring. It has its limitations, of course,
Mhm.
um, but overall, I feel very content here,
Oh,
back home.
that's so
Hmm.
beautiful. And I'm curious as well because you meant like you're from Costa Rica, and I guess you said you grew up in a like supportive household for pursuing your passion and following your heart, even though maybe for everyone it doesn't make sense or it's not the most straight line path. What have you brought from your parents? Like, how have they given you any gifts or insights, or maybe your mother, or like stuff that you carried with you? Because I guess you've had a lot of courage in your career and in your life, like moving around, like studying, changing paths, and this and that. So is that coming from within you, or have you felt like what's the process been?
Um, yeah, definitely there is a lot of influence of my parents and to all of us, like
Yeah.
we are result of so many factors of how we grew up. Um, I definitely can see like the influence of both of them. My dad, as I mentioned, he worked with national parks and he's an environmental lawyer. So I think my love for nature came there, and I think that's why I gravitate so much more in living in places with nature and taking photos in natural environments, because that's how I grew up since I was a
Mm.
kid. Like I can show you some photos, but I grew up a lot in the Caribbean side, and
Ah.
so it feels very organic for me to shoot in places like this, and I think that came definitely from my dad, that took me since I was young to national parks and to adventures, and that big part of like my love for nature and the beach life came from him, and then from my mom also the love of nature, but from her I absorbed a lot of cinema and arts. Like she was super
Ah.
into cinema, music, arts in general, and I was always mm, like there was always good cinema around the
Yeah.
house, and I was young, and I once asked her, for example, like what is your favorite movie, and she mentioned like like I was 8 at this time, so I was young, or 9, something like that, and she said like 2001 Space Odyssey. I don't know if you know it. It's
Yeah.
by Stanley Kubrick, which he himself is a photographer.
Mm.
And I remember I was like, can you show me that movie? But it's like a very complex movie to watch, and
Yeah.
I watched it with her since I was like as a child, and I was so mesmerized by the shots, the music. So I think she inspired me a lot about that part of like art, because she was super like um yeah, like she really could explain things and show me things, and it didn't matter if I was young. She was just like, she was not like, oh, you're not prepared for this. Was more like, yes, this, like ex-
Yeah.
yeah, like she was encouraging
She
me to
introduced
win.
it.
Exactly. And we watched like some like cinema from Europe as well, and I think that's also like what my passion from Europe came, watching
Mm.
Fellini at a young age, or Jean-Luc Godard, or all these artists,
Yeah.
and that was very inspiring. And a lot of the I realized that a lot of the directors I like were photographers, like
Ah.
Andrei Tarkovsky from Russia, and so I was like, oh, there is a parallel between like the movies I enjoyed the most are the ones that are the poet, like
Yeah.
they're very like the cinema. It's like a cinematic poetry. Like
Yeah.
it's like
It's like a
all the
visual.
frames, yeah, the frames and the beauty of it and how they play with it are very important. And of course, if they were photographers, makes a lot of sense that they use this tool of photography a lot in the narrative. So yeah, I think she exposed me to that, and then her courage of um, even during COVID. In some point, I was like, I don't want to go back to do my rest, like to apply for my passport, because I feel so good back in Costa Rica and being here, and the world was still like I think you guys were like lockdown 3.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and we were here like living our lives back. So I didn't want to
Yeah.
go back, and I was this close to lose the chance to apply for my nationality. And I think I remember my mom and my brother, they sat me down and they were like, we think you should go back and try to finish this process. You work so hard to get it, and we support. I mean, if you don't want to do it, we support you, but we both think that this will open a lot of doors for you.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. So they always, like, a lot of people will be like, no, don't go back, it's crazy there, COVID, we don't know what's going to
Yeah.
happen. And my family was the opposite. It was like, I mean, if it's too crazy, you can always come back, but go, you got it,
Mm.
girl. And that's something that I got from my mom and inspires me a lot. Like if I call her with like a crazy plan, oh, I got a shoot in the other side of the world, she's always like, if it feels like, the place, the people, if it feels right, just do it, open yourself to the world. And she's super brave, and I
Oh, I
think
love that.
yeah, in so many ways. Like just not long ago, I did a shoot in Jordan. I was like, Mom, is this too far? Is this too crazy? And she was like, if you don't do it, I will do it. Like joking, like if I could jump in the plane, and I was like, okay, I'm doing it, and it ended up being an amazing experience for me. So yeah, they are
That's
both
so
very inspiring.
cool. It's quite fascinating hearing you share that, because you're really blending in a lot of stuff from your parents in your career path, even though I guess it's not maybe conscious, but like with nature
Yeah.
and the arts and traveling through the world, and like realizing that the world is your oyster and that you are capable and you can do these things. And so it's really beautiful to hear how it's coming together, like your path.
Yeah, yeah, it's when I also like listen myself telling saying all these things, it makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah.
yeah, in that sense I feel very lucky that since I was young, my mom encouraged me to do to be an artist, because I always gravitate way more into I used to play the flute, so music was a big part of my life. I was in theater, I was drawing a lot, so art was always in my life. So it was very inspiring that they were not like, oh, better
Yeah.
change your path. This is not the easiest. They were more like, if this they could see that this was my path, and obviously I had a lot of love and passion for all of it. And my mom was more like, if you need to go out of the country and follow your heart, we support you 100%, even if that means the effort for us to not have you here, and financially, of course. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I was lucky in that sense.
That's so beautiful. I guess regarding that, we spoke briefly about that you have, when back in the days, were a bit into yoga, and I guess that in some ways art and spirituality and creativity, it's all the same really. It's like the human expression and interpreting reality, and sharing your perspective on life, and what moves you and what nourishes the soul. What would you say, like through your artistry, I guess through your entire life at this point, but some like insights, like from life, from the human experience, or spiritual lessons, or whatever you want to label it, that you have, like what that's landed for you?
Well, yoga had a amazing it's been very inspiring through all my life. I did the first class when I was 20, so that's almost, I'm 35 now, so yeah, that was a long time ago. And I remember that I didn't know, I always wanted to do yoga, but I was like always like, and then a friend was like, yeah, let's do this trial class, that's how I say it, like the first class for free thing. And I ended up in an amazing studio, and it was one of the most important moments. Like I remember leaving that space like, wow, I feel so connected, and it helped me in so many ways, to be present, and just in one lesson I was like, I want to do this, and this became a very important part of my life. So since then I started doing it, and it brought so much spirituality, consciousness. I was suddenly waking up at 5 to do the first class in the sunrise. I did so many different kinds of yoga, like Ashtanga, Hatha yoga, Vinyasa, and I wanted to try it all, and it just gave me that space to connect with my body, myself, spirituality. I didn't grow up with a religious house. It was always exploring different kind of spirituality and religion. So suddenly I think yoga was also this kind of tool to tap in more in this spiritual path. And I went very deep. I remember reading a lot of that Bhagavad Gita, and really trying to step in also the philosophy of it. And then I did teacher trainings for also just I forget right now tantra, and I did a teacher training for that, yeah, and things like that, because I wanted to tap in all that curiosity of spirituality, meditation, breath work. And so yeah, I still use a lot of the tools. I don't practice as much as I used to do in my 20s, which I have to go back into that. But every time I do it, it feels very good. And I apply a lot of that in photography.
Yeah.
Even when I have to give tips to the people, I always say like, connect with your breathing, be present. This is because at the end, photography, it's like you're capturing present time. It's like
Yeah.
you're so present, and there is so many things about like the breathing, like going back to your body, and so many things that I apply from yoga to photography. So yeah, it definitely had a big impact on
That's
my
so
life.
cool. I love that. And I love, because I guess also now I feel that yoga is getting more and more maybe commercial or that, but I guess in your 20s as well, it was still maybe not everyone was talking about yoga or it's like, yeah, something more, that was more traditional then maybe. So it sounds like you got a very like proper introduction to it, and being able to take like, not even all studios have Ashtanga on the schedule in these days, I find.
Yeah, in Costa Rica, in the city, people are super into yoga, and there is amazing professors and schools and yoga teacher trainings. I think, yeah, Costa Ricans can tend to be very spiritual and go very full, like immersive in these practices. So I think in the city, yeah, there was a lot of good studios. So even in my 20s, there was a lot of possibilities there, and I'm so grateful for that too, because I could see how deep my teachers were going. And yeah, so if you go to San Jose, there's amazing places to practice and great teachers.
Wow. I'm feeling cool to go there to do some yoga as
Yeah.
well. I love exploring like new kind of classes, and especially going with these like really old school techniques that really bring you deeper into yourself and deeper into meditation and connecting deeper into your body. And for me, as you said, that like you feel so connected after a yoga class, and that kind of amplifies like creativity can start to flow again, or you get inspired because you see something more clearly, or you notice things because you're more present. And I can
100%.
understand how it feeds into your photography very well.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a beautiful reminder of being present and see the beauty around us. So yeah, it's a magical tool.
And I guess in general, I'm curious to hear like if you have any exciting projects, or like what your plans are for the coming months, or if you're just going with the flow. Or I guess it's rainy season right now in Costa Rica. Do you have plans to come to Europe, or what are your like dreams and visions from here?
Beautiful question. So I think the last year I've been planning so much everything, like I think I was very connected with this like rational mind of I have to do this in 5 years this
Yeah.
and now I think right now, if you ask me right now, maybe in a month I will change this answer, but right now I'm really going with the flow because I've been traveling so much, and I came from like I think I did like I don't know, like 11, like 6 countries in 1 month, and I took so
Oh
many
my
planes,
god.
and I was like Greece, Portugal, Spain, the Middle East for a shoot, and it was so beautiful. And so I think right now I'm just like open to the world, like whatever it comes to me, if it resonates, I will do it. But I'm trying not to plan so much, and I'm trying to be so like a little bit more open with an open heart, because I could see that the past years I was trying to be like, this is the schedule, I have to be here exactly here, and it was amazing. It is good to be methodic and to see the like to see how that also
Like discipline and structure.
discipline. Yeah, exactly. Like I can see that if you have like very solid goals, then if you work very hard, it's gonna happen. But now I'm like trying to connect more with my heart and to be more like, okay, if it rains a lot this rainy season, then I go back to Europe, and if it's not raining so much, I stay longer. And it's beautiful also to tapping into that flow, and I'm enjoying it a lot after being in my rational mind of what I have to accomplish so much. But I think I'll come back in September. I have like some projects there, and I also would love to do a Pilates teacher training and to expand in directions too. But definitely photography is my baby and my passion, and I could see like myself as a grandma holding a camera, so I will always follow that path with all my heart and wherever it takes me. But yeah, I have some possible jobs around Europe. I'll just see if everything aligns so I can come back. Mm-hmm.
That's so beautiful. And I love that going with the flow. Sometimes you need a bit of like, it can be nice to have a bit of structure, get things done, accomplish stuff, but then it's nice also to then just take a break and see kind of what the universe sends your way and like just give it a bit of time and integrate and connect back and like chill a bit as well. But
Exactly. And
exciting
I mean,
with sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And I was just thinking it was exciting with the Pilates teacher training. I love Pilates.
Yeah, me too. I also thought about doing like the yoga teacher training, but somehow I felt like, I mean, I could still do it and I would love to do it, but I felt like it's such a more like, I also was like, okay, I need to learn so much more of the philosophy and like so many layers behind it that somehow I think I was like, oh, I don't know if it's the right moment. But with Pilates, I felt the calling also like, okay, I can start here and learned a lot about mobility, about anatomy, and a lot of beautiful tools. And maybe that's the first step. And then I finally do the yoga. But yeah, I just felt the calling because I was always, as I said, like an artist child, and yoga brought movement into my life, and then Pilates brought also that extra movement and challenge. I mean, I see them like different beautiful tools, but yeah, I was like, okay, maybe I can do Pilates, and then from there maybe I do yoga. I still don't know. But I think it's just more like it's nice also to find inspiration in other things, and I just want to bring movement and health into my life more and more. So in some point I would like to do that, but I always keep getting projects in photography, so I always like postpone it, and this rainy season could be a good moment to do it.
Yeah, because you need a bit of time to get those things done.
Yeah, exactly. And I always like, even when I think it's slow season, I always get beautiful things to do, and that's why. Yeah.
But it's I find movement has been an important part of my journey as well. Not only yoga, but like also Pilates or bar or dancing. Like connecting with the body is such a powerful tool in general. I feel like sometimes I'm like, how could I? Before I started more with this, I guess when I was younger, I was a gymnast and I was very connected and working out and moving. But like, it's so essential to move and to feel good and to have that mental clarity and to feel inspired to like feel it in your body as well. So yeah, it's beautiful that we have these techniques to like connect and get stronger and breathe properly and have alignment in how we move. And I guess in photography as well, like it's a lot about movement, even though the actual photograph is still, it's about like how are we posing or how are we capturing a body, and so I guess it could also help you to give good creative direction as well.
It is, but something interesting for me when I'm taking photos is that I'm almost like I forget almost about my body, because I'm like, oh, how can I almost wish I, like it's in the way. So, and I'm sometimes go into crazy postures that then I'm like, ooh, and the equipment, you're traveling with heavy backpacks with cameras, and it's like, so for me in a way it's like a reminder, because if I was not doing all of these other things that help me with my mobility, maybe I will be like working like this all day long and like with a bad
like
posture.
back problems.
Exactly. So that helped me a lot to like be conscious, like, okay, maybe instead of taking photos like these, I can like have a better posture and like just to be more mindful overall, because I was always doing things that like the body was not the tool in a way, like drawing. Well, maybe theater it is, but like drawing or taking photos, it was almost like you're just like you have this tool, and that so I think for me it was important to like bring all this mobility, and yoga was that reminder. Like after when I was doing yoga, I was like, wow, I really need to take so much more care of this physical body to keep like showing my art to the world and feel more forward. So yeah, I think it's very important, and when I take photos I forget a little bit about it, and thanks to Pilates and yoga, I'm more like, okay, alignment. And yeah, sometimes I do like weird poses, so maybe that has an influence.
But it's beautiful that you get so immersed in your process that you kind of like time and space and
Yeah,
the
I'm
body
like,
and everything else disappears.
exactly. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish my hands were longer, or I could go a little bit more back. So yeah, it's interesting. It's like yeah, you disappear in a way. Like that's how I feel it when I take photos. Like I'm so immersed in what's happening, and that yeah, I'm just, I guess, somewhere
You
else.
just become a channel for it to flow through you.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, I'm seeing that the time is flying by here. I was curious to hear if there's anyone that's listening to this that maybe feels the calling or already is in a creative field or wants to work more artistically. If you have any advice on how to get started, how to tap into more of your creativity and finding your path, maybe as a photographer or producer of any sort in this realms, like what would you recommend? What tips and tricks would you share?
I think it's just the way you see the world, like being in this constant, like, just being very open and admiration of everything that is around us. Like, I think we're all creatives, we're all artists. It doesn't matter if you work in different things. Like, I mean, we all take creative, we'll have like, take creative, how to say,
Freedom.
directions, and like we're always creating, like even when we have to solve a problem, it's
Yeah.
like we use our creativity. So I think it's like the way we see the world, and to just admire everything, like conversations, like people, and for me it's like that's the first thing, to tapping in this creative flow, and to be just admiring. If you see like a beautiful sunset, like a person, like just being, just like be open to be curious and take all
Yeah.
in. I think that's the first thing I will say. And then if you feel like, you have a calling to be an artist, just to do it, like to start doing it. Could start as a hobby, could start as a career. If you really have the calling, don't let anybody stop you. I think that's something that I will say. It's not an easy path. I can see why some people tell like, ooh, in a lot of ways I can see the efforts that go with it, but it's such a beautiful way of living. And if you feel it within yourself, I think, like, just let it fully go. And then other ones more practical, to like work with people. Like, when I was in Europe, I also assist photographers and art directors. And for me, it was also important to see how other people worked, and to learn from them, and to, like, just learn from different things. Like, I went to so many, like, from helping photographers, producers, art directors, like, even like, with the styling and everything. So it's nice to see all these different, parts of a production.
Yeah.
So then, or you can choose what you like the most, or you can also, it gives you a lot of perspective of how to organize things and work with different teams and departments, because you help a little bit and you understand a little bit their world. So yeah, I'll say that, and just enjoy the beauty of being an artist, because I think that's a big part of why humans, we came to this world, just to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, just to be creative, whatever that is, like singing in the bathroom, taking photos, drawing, like, it doesn't matter. Like, just cultivate that, because it's part of humanity.
Yes, I totally agree. And I love those recommendations as well. And I remember you mentioned earlier in the conversation as well music, and that you love music, and that that's also a big part of your both creative process and something that you absorb a lot from. And I'm the same. Like, I listen like a lot to music every part of the day. There's something different going on, and it really inspires me and uplifts my mood or helps me if I'm going through something or whatever. So I was also curious if you have what your relationship is with music. You mentioned that you played the flute when you were younger, but I guess now maybe it's more about listening to music and being surrounded by musicians and this kind of thing.
Yeah, music was I think was maybe even my first love. My parents were also listening a lot of music, and I was very mesmerized by musicians and so many different sounds and music. So I just love, yeah, like I remember like learning to read music, and that felt even easier than learning how to read Spanish. So I was like, like it just makes more sense. Like when I was a kid, somehow like that. So yeah, music was very important. Then I switched more to like photography, and then I put my focus in it. But now has a big influence. Like when I'm retouching like sometimes I put like certain kind of music, and it makes me like go into it. Or even as I told you, like before going to a shoot. I mean, sometimes it's just quiet and silence, but sometimes I put like more ambient music, and it's just like it helps me to feel like that, like calmness before going out in the world. And musicians definitely inspire me a lot. I go a lot to Berlin to like meet friends that are musicians and other parts of the world, LA, New York, and I love how they also see the world. In a lot of ways, there is parallels
Yeah.
into it, which is interesting to learn.
Yeah.
So I get very inspired by their process. Like I think I can tap into a lot of those, like I can see like a lot of parallels, like how they have to make, like if they're if you're a producer, how you have to make like the singer feel comfortable, or you know, if you're a performer, how you have to like get into this
Yeah.
mindset before going to stage. And yeah, it's a beautiful art form. So yeah, I listened a lot of music all day long. Always trying to discover things, and it's just so universal, right? Like, and that's something beautiful about it. We can connect with different cultures and different times and space through music and history, right? Like, oh, why they were like, you know, like you can understand like the instruments they were using back in those days, or the recordings, or the limitations they have, or the new technologies that were coming and how they apply it. And for me, all of that is very inspiring.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. I guess we're entering almost towards an hour here, so time
Oh,
flies, but it's been so nice to hear all your perspectives and thoughts, and I resonate with a lot of the things that you're sharing. So I feel connected to your way of life and how you share and how how you take decisions and that. So it's really nice to hear. And I was just curious if there's anything else that you would like to share. I will link your Instagram page. Maybe you have a website as well. And if people
I
want to
can
get
send
in
it.
touch,
Yeah.
yeah, you'll send some links and I can link them below so people can discover more about you. And maybe if there's somebody more in the industry listening, they can book, I guess, through DM or email or whatever we link below if they want to work together with you. But yeah, is there anything else that you would like to share, or something that you feel is meaningful to pass on to people that have made it this far in the conversation?
No, I think you did a great job going through all the questions, and no, I think
We're
we cover
good.
a lot of things. Yes.
Yeah.
Questions, they can
I'm like,
always let me know. But yeah, I think
yeah.
that was a beautiful conversation. So thank you so much for your time and for inviting me, and yeah, getting me out of my comfort zone to sit here and like talk for hours.
Thank
Like I
you.
love it, and
Thank you
sharing my
so much.
story. So
Thank
thank you
you
so
for
much
sharing.
for holding these spaces, because I know like it's so beautiful to know the backstory of creative people, and if that can inspire people that are thinking about it to do it, or you know, it's so nice. I love listening like a lot of conversations of actors talking with another actors, or interviews
Yeah.
of uh like different professionals, and I get inspired by even people that are doing complete different things that I'm doing. So it's always inspiring to hear like different perspectives and how people see the world. So thank you so much for allowing these spaces, and I wish you
Oh,
the
thank
best
you
with your
so much.
podcast.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to following your journey from here and maybe we'll see each other sometime in Europe or
Yes.
Costa Rica in the future. I'm looking forward to maybe bumping into each other in the physical world too.
Yes, just let me know. I'm always hopping in different continents and places. It's a very beautiful and unexpected life, so I'm sure we can meet here or in Europe or in Asia. Like, I'm always on the go in a way.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you so much, Eva, and I wish you a
Thank
beautiful
you.
rest of your day and good luck with all your projects from here, and enjoy the rainy season in Costa Rica while it lasts. I find it's a very like
I will.
introspective, like nourishing time.
Yeah, I love it. I'm excited also for the rain. It's important because I travel so much, so I love to like have that time to like have more like of a calm moment, and you can contemplate things, and you can really you can really see what happened in the year when you're like in a space that it's calm and there's not so much to do outside, then you have to go inside.
Exactly.
And I love those times. I mean, I guess in Europe will be the winter, and other places that you have to be inside your house and just go within
reflect
way
a
more.
bit. Yeah.
Exactly, reflect and everything. So I love that those times too.
Well, wishing you all the best, lots of love, and
thank you.
maybe see you back soon on the channel as well. Let's see what happens.
Yes.
Okay, bye
Thank you
everyone. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.